Are you an empath? Are you highly sensitive to all the crazy energy that's been going on in 2020 and 2021? Do you have a low tolerance for drama? Do you hate scary movies? Well, if so, you might be an empath. And quite frankly, I am one, and I would rather make a video about how do you know whether or not you're an empath than be forced to watch the latest Halloween movie. So with that being said, if you think you're an empath or if you know you are an empath and you've been wondering why you do some of the things you do, stay tuned. This is for you. Hello, everybody. My name is Chelsea. I am an intuitive healer and an empath and an intuitive hypnotherapist. And I help people transform trauma and self-sabotage into love and empowerment. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel so that I know to continue making more content like this. Diving right into it, what is an empath? An empath is somebody who not only understands the emotions of others, but really takes them on as their own and can actually feel them within their body. So what does that mean? That is an incredible superpower. That is an incredible defense mechanism. That's an incredible way of connecting with people, and it can really be your greatest gift. But it can also come with some emotional burdens if we don't know it's there. For example, a lot of empaths are created in rocky environments. And I think being an empath is something that is kind of naturally in you. But rocky childhoods, abusive childhoods, unstable childhoods are really a great fostering ground for empaths because it becomes a defense mechanism. It becomes like a shit's about to hit the fan-o-meter, right? An empathic child in a tense, volatile situation will often turn to their empathic abilities in order to say, ooh, that person's starting to feel a little edgy to me. I better run to my room to be safe. I better calm this down to be safe. Whatever their adaptation is, that triggers it. For myself, I was always an empathic child. I was always very sensitive, and I had a great childhood, thankfully. Thank you, Mom and Dad, if you're watching this. But I always felt really awkward, and I always felt like I never fit in. And we're going to discuss that in a second. But it became kind of like a defense mechanism for me because I would learn how to pick up on what others were feeling in school. And if people kind of got an awkward vibe around me, or if they got a little judgy, I would instantly pick up on that emotion and try to become what they wanted me to be so that they would like me, which turns into codependency, which is another like far end spectrum of empath that it could turn into. So I had to kind of recover from all that, and I still tend to, if I'm uncomfortable, I tend to slip into reading other people to see what they want from me. So it's something that I have to be very conscious of. But being an empath in itself is not a burden. It's not a weakness. It's a great, great gift. But how do you know? There's been so many empaths really waking up in this time, in this 2020, 2021 shit show of a world that we're living in. There's been so many empathic people who have realized their gift, and I'm super stoked about that. But what's really, really cool is all of those empaths have come here to help bring light to the world. So, are you an empath? First step, are you really sensitive? And there's a couple of nuances here. Some very, very narcissistic people are highly sensitive. But I mean sensitive in the way of, again, being able to recognize things very easily. Can you walk into a room and sense when somebody is down? Or can you walk into a room and have this really lively experience and actually be bolstered up by it, right? If everyone's having a great time, Do you find yourself getting a little more perked up and a little more energetic? That's a sign of an empath. That is feeding off of the energy of others. And it takes a very highly sensitive person in order to recognize those subtle cues that humans are putting off and those subtle little vibrations. Most people aren't even aware that they're putting out that kind of vibration. So it's a really, really powerful tool. And it also can mean that when the environment is down, when a friend of yours is having a hard time, you're going to feel it too. So that can lead to some very up and down emotions. But the trick there is constantly checking in with yourself and recognizing, is this my own energy? Am I really feeling down? Or is it the other person? Now, with being sensitive, have you been feeling anxious or depressed lately for no reason? That might be a sign that you're picking up on the collective, babe. If you have been feeling anxious or depressed without really anything to connect it to, so obviously if there's something that's been triggering you, if you've been having a rough time at work, if you've been struggling to find your calling or your peace, or if you've been in transition, or if something is happening in your world bubble, yes, absolutely, what you're feeling is completely normal. But also, if you can't find anything to really connect those emotions to, are you picking up on the emotions of others? Are you picking up on the emotions of the collective? A lot of empaths that I have been talking to and working with lately have all reported feeling a high level of anxiety. And that is very, very indicative of what's going on right now. You know, we're rolling into the holidays. We have political shit show just about every day. We have a COVID shit show just about every day. There are quite a lot of good reasons to be anxious as an empath that may not necessarily be happening directly to you. That being said, again, check back in with yourself. Is this anxiety mine? Is this depression mine? Is what I'm feeling me, or is it the outside world that I am picking up on? Because, like I said, most of the world is not aware of what it puts out there, right? It's like emotional litter. We don't really realize we're doing it. But empaths really pick up on that. And we're not meant to be sponges for negative energy. That is the greatest tip that I can give, is you are not meant to hold it, my love. You are meant to act as a channel. Empaths have a great ability to take in that negative energy and release it back out, where it can be transmuted into more positive energy by source. But we are not meant to hold that energy. We're not meant to keep that energy. That's where it gets overwhelming. That's where we turn into that hypersensitive, oh my God, I'm an empath, just like keep your negative energy away from me stereotype. But if you view yourself as a channel and you begin to embody that channel, then it gets so much easier. And it really does become your superpower, because then you're also able to draw energy from source and put it out there without using or giving away any of your own energy. I'm going to talk about that in another video. That sounds like a fun one. I like that. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to make a video about that channel sponge connection. Next, do you overthink things? Yeah, who knew that was a sign of being an empath? But because empaths feel everything so keenly, and because we pick up on everybody's emotions, we really have a tendency to overthink everything, because we're thinking from 5 or 6 other people's different points of view, right? So if we're going to go say something, there is usually a great amount of hesitation because, well, what are they going to feel about this? What are they going to think about this? Are they going to think I'm awkward? Because then I'm going to feel awkward. Oh, holy crap. Oh, I just want to say the perfect thing. So we say, how's the weather? And we still come off feeling awkward about it. Overthinking is really trying to kind of catch what emotions might be coming off of what we're about to say or do. And again, that's because we feel those emotions. So we're very, very aware of the reactions of others. We're very, very bleh. We're very, very aware of the energetic consequences of our actions. Which means also if we've said something, maybe being sarcastically jokey and funny, and we really meant nothing by it, an empath will probably rethink that phrase over and over and over, trying to ascertain if they've hurt somebody or not. So with that being said, I really can't offer a solution for that other than to advise that other people's reaction to what you say, if you have positive intent and other people react negatively, that's a reflection of them, not you. So hopefully that helps, but I totally get the overthinking thing. Trust me. Feeling awkward and not fitting in is another really big trait of an empath. I always felt growing up like I walked very lightly on this earth. I felt like I didn't have a tribe. I felt like I didn't have a connection to really any group. I felt like I didn't have a place to fit in. I had friends, but they were small groups of friends, and they were individuals from every kind of group. They were kind of the oddballs of their own group, and I gravitated towards them. And again, I think that really is a sign of being an empath. We don't really fit into one solid description. There is so much unique about us, and there is so much of us that is tuned into other people. We can really vibe with just about anybody, which is, again, a fantastic superpower. But it also means that there's almost a sense of being on the clock. Not being on the clock, but being on the clock energetically when you realize that you're an empath, or sometimes when you don't, because you're constantly picking up on other people's energy. So it's really hard to just stay grounded and stay in that 3D world when, back in my day, when they were talking about NSYNC and Britney Spears, I wanted to either have a deeper conversation with my 5-year-old friend, or I wanted to go off and play and be away from all the crazy 5-year-old growing up energy. So there was really this kind of inability to shut myself off or to close for energetic business. And it really kind of made it tough, and it made me feel very awkward because either A, I was picking up on people and seeing them in ways that they were not comfortable being seen, right? Some people can find empaths actually to be a little bit invasive because most of us are trying to tamp down those little emotions and those little things that we'd rather not see or feel for ourselves. And then an empath comes along, he goes, "Hey, how you doing?" Blows their cover. So if you do get that awkward response from people, just know that, again, that's a reflection of them. You're seeing something in them that they're recognizing that you're seeing, and it's making them feel a little uncomfortable. Now, again, you can kind of tone that down sometimes. You can kind of tuck that in if you know you're in a situation full of people who are trying to tamp down their emotions. Maybe it's not the best time to say, "Hey, are you doing okay?" You can tuck that in. But just know that if you feel awkward, chances are you might actually be picking up on other people's awkwardness as well, right? Because as humans, a lot of us do walk around feeling very awkward. A lot of regular everyday people are walking around saying, "God, I hope I look right. God, I hope did I say that right? Oh, God, I feel so awkward." Most humans are feeling that for themselves. So if you pick up on that and you're taking it on as your own, that might be totally off base, honey. They might be the awkward one. So just continue to check in. That is the theme of this video, is check in, check in, check in. And lastly, because it's Halloween, I hate scary movies. Hate. And if you do too, you might be an empath. Because regular people don't get this. They just don't get that an empath may not be able to watch a scary movie or a highly dramatic movie with, where a lot of the characters die in the end. Or even like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was rough on me, guys. It was. And I'm trying Squid Games, and it's a sick addiction, but I struggle with it. I struggle with it hardcore. But normal people don't understand that we can't just watch a movie, like watch a scary movie, go, that was fun. Okay, good night. Empaths tend not to let it go. Empaths, again, will dig into the deeper emotional and psychological whatnots of what's going on. And sometimes scary movies follow us home. Like for myself, back to the overthinking. Why did she run upstairs? How did the monster get to be that way? Why did she not just run outside? Why did she even go down that alley? And next thing you know, I'm seeing a clown in my closet. Same thing with a very low tolerance for drama in either TV or in the world. A lot of empaths don't like watching the news. And there are quite a lot of people who I know and love dearly that actually find the news entertaining. And I have a real hard time relating to that. There are a lot of people who are having a blast making fun of the president's age right now. And all I can continue to think is, whether you agree with the guy or not, you shouldn't be making fun of an old dude. That's where my mind goes. And I know that that's not everybody. And everybody's entitled to their own forms of entertainment. But I really hate watching political drama because all I'm picking up on is the negative emotion that's coming from it, the fear, the hate, the control, the battling back and forth for power. That's what I'm seeing when I see the news. Not the entertainment of, oh, look at that shit show going on. Same with, TV. I really have a very low tolerance for a long dramatic plot. Again, Game of Thrones was a struggle for me just because of all the freaking death and tension. And I feel that a lot more than, maybe I should if I want to watch that kind of thing. So those are 5 kind of off the wall ways that you're going to know you're an empath. You might have grown up this way and always wondered, why did I feel so awkward growing up? Why can't I just enjoy scary movies? You might be an empath, dear. And if you are in great company. There are so many amazingly empathic people who are waking up right now. And I am solidly convinced that the reason for that is because we are needed to make the world better. Our ability to see and feel emotions are what is going to lead to a healed world. But first, you need to own that power. Own it as a superpower, not as a weakness or a burden, because that's what it is. I think I'll make a video on that. I think I'll make a video on that at another time. So, please like this video, drop a comment if you're an empath and you've also experienced some interesting ways of being that may not be talked about all the time. I'd love to hear your unique perspective. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to it, and until next time, my loves.